So now we are live here on YouTube as I see it. Hopefully it works out good. So yes, thanks for joining. We'll be starting in about 30 seconds. So you should be ready. I hope you are. I can just show the other screen also so we know we are ready to get started. Excellent condition, but something is missing here. Hopefully there it is. Yes. Good. But yes. Okay, so let's get started. Go live. Hey! And welcome to this session. We will be talking about pipelines, how you can use it, what's good, what's bad on them, and all the concepts that exist around it. I hope you you are ready and can see us. If you have just hit comments in the chat so I know that you're here and you have some questions, comments. I really appreciate you taking the time here, and obviously give it a like. What other options do you have, Michael? Support all these. Yes. Good. Yes. So I think I've hosted this session about 3 times or 2 times before. Each time we've been adding a lot more to it than earlier. Because we have been developing, we're getting feedback, we're getting all these things, and I do think the pipeline concepts is becoming much more interesting. And obviously when you're talking about pipelines, you may consider that it is other things, so just message processing, etc., or DevOps pipelines, and it is not. There's a lot of other components into this. So I'm really happy you're here. In the comments, could you just, if you have explored the pipelines, I'd love to hear your take on it. Just if you explored, just put it in the chat, and I'll like to comment on those things and just have some engagement and understand what you are looking at. For the people that have not seen this pipeline concept before, I will just get started with this, and yeah, you're here, and that's the important thing. So the thing we wanted to cover is what is pipeline, and this is an open source project started by SAP, and it is on the term about being able to separate the business logic from retrying, from transformation and delivery. So normally if you're building an iFlow, you have this capability and you can add all of this into together. If you do that, you end up or may end up with a mess of a flow where you're building both business logic, retry logic, error handling into one component. And I think that is, well, it is what the platform is able to do, but I think if you want to scale this to a lot of users, it becomes obviously a little challenging. And I think that is one of the key aspects of this. I know that there's other ways of doing frameworks around this that both customers and partners have used. And obviously that is an alternative. I think, yeah, so SAP have tested this and tested that it does work with huge volumes. And yeah, it is part of the recommendation for migration. And I think, yeah, so obviously you could spend a lot of effort on building something like this. Having a framework delivered by SAP makes it easier because you don't need to build all these components yourself. Do all the consideration. And I know the team have been taking a lot of feedback from customers, from all the different customers they're working on, and have increased this. And obviously what you can do is you can take this as a basis and then you can do your own modifications on top of this. Good. So what is it and how does it work? So to get started, what you do is you go into your integration suite, you go into Discover here, you select here, and then you search for pipeline. Here you can see there is some scenarios here. You can take this and then copy it into your workspace, and then you have a way to work with these pipelines and understand what they will do. And it is a collection of a number of iFlows to take some inbound processing, handling it, map it, deliver it. And I think that this is, I don't know, this is what I prefer to show it. Just what it is that you use as generic, what it is that it does not know. And yeah, if you have tried to run with this, please let me know. Or are you using any alternative redelivery framework? Is also an interesting question. So please just add that into the chat. So the way you would normally set this up is you would have a number of, I guess this is called step one, inbound processing, where you would be taking, for instance, an IDOC, a proxy, all these things that you have generic processes for. And once you receive these messages, they will be put in a queue. This queue is then picked up by an inbound process that will take the message, understand whether or not it needs to be doing content conversion. If it does, it will do some content conversion on this, put it into the queue again, process it, figure out which is the receivers that it needs to handle for these scenarios. Once it's figured that one out, it will go and figure out for this receiver what is the channels that we need for this, which are the iFlow that we can use to deliver this messages on. Then it will be put into a new queue. It will be picked up by a new queue or from this queue, and in here you can actually understand all the different logic that exists on such scenarios. And here we will take it out, do the mapping, and deliver it. If it fails, it will go back into this one. And there is also retry logic for all of these. So if the message is failing after 3 attempts, it would be put into the queue again, and then it will be retried every 5 minutes until it has reached the maximum retry time. And this is just a simple way of handling these things. In a lot of scenarios, you could probably just go from Q1 to to the interface determination and then do the outbound conversion here. So there is a lot of overhead on here. It's not really something that is a big problem. We have had the same kind of concept in the PI world, and it has not really impacted the performance. I would a lot of time I've said let's just move directly to queue number 4, because we know when we're receiving a message it needs to go in here. For that, that's not a part of the framework. You can add it yourself if you wanted to simplify it, but for now we're just going with the standards for these things, and then working with that. Questions, just put them into the chat, and I hope I've seen it. Otherwise, please scream out. Or put some comments in. I guess that's the important part of it. Then you would obviously also creating your custom logic for these scenarios with the way you are handling these scenarios. So you would have some custom SFTP that is picking up folders and placing them into the Q1. You can then do the inbound conversion. For instance, if you have a file content conversion, you can add it here. You could also add it and just move directly to Q2, but I think the general idea is to put it in here. So there are limitations on the queues, and I think that is one of the main reasons for doing this. So we do have another way when we are migrating this, that we are building a queue for each iFlow. It makes the retry processing a lot easier, but it also adds a lot of queues, and I think there's a default limitations of queues of 30. You can improve it, change it to 100, and then you can open an OSS to increase it to, I don't know, 300. But there's definitely some limitations on how many queues you can have on your integration suite system. So that is why they have dealt with this in this way. And you're not paying for the traffic to these queues, so that's also an improvement on this, that it is just a part of the normal processing for these systems. So you're only paying for the traffic going out of the integration, which is then this one that has the adapter coming out. I hope that answers the question. Otherwise, put in some more questions that we can go through. Queue limitations, there's something here, that's good. Yeah, so that is, so the thing is, if an iFlow, oh, going the wrong direction, if an iFlow fails here, or message, it will be retried a couple of times. Once it's been retried, it will be going into a dead letter queue. You can then take this dead letter queue, copy it all into the original queue, and then it will be processed again. It is not really ideal. I guess you wanted to say, okay, I just want this message being retried and put it into the original queue, and then delete the dead letter queue messages that are older than whatever 2 days for this. I've not seen anything about the ranges of these things, but I'm sure that they will push something out on this. But for now, they have not come with any things about what any limitations and size of this, other than it is able to work with this. I hope I will get some details that I can share on this, or they will be sharing this, because it is obviously important. What is the latency of these things? How many messages can you process with a full pipeline of messages of whatever size? There's obviously a size limit. You can only process, I don't know, 30 megabytes or something like that per message with the GMS settings, maybe less. So there is definitely some limitations on this. So if you have large message sizes, you may consider doing it in different ways. But at least this is here for handling these scenarios. I just wanted also to cover this. So in a PI world, we also have the ability to have multiple different flows. We have some that is high priority, we want to handle instantly. We also have scenarios where it's like, okay, just do it whenever you have time. And you can just copy these 4 flows, and then you have a new set of processes. So if the message goes into the queue, which is, I guess, normal queue, or the high priority queue, they would be handled the same way. They would be using the same partner directory for handling these scenarios. Yeah, so obviously this is targeting a lot on migration, because that is where we're coming from, and a lot of in the PI world, we did have this limitation that you had to do receiver determination, interface determinations, all these things in one sequence, and that was one of the limitations of it. But now, when working on a lot of integration, I can also see some benefits of having this fixed flow. So you cannot do exactly once in order in these scenarios. SAP do have it on the roadmap to do exactly once in order. I don't know if that is going to be how that would work, and how you would add that into the processing. There was something about how you could use event mesh or advanced event mesh to do this, and obviously the pipeline concept could be adjusted to support advanced event mesh. How precisely, I'm not sure, but it could obviously be of an important thing, or interesting to explore what would be an option there. So as I saw it, the flows could be useful, but yeah, it's definitely one of the things that will be interesting to explore. High priority queue, you're using the partner directory to maintain all of these things. A lot of other scenarios would have been using value mappings, and value mapping is good because you have it in the UI, but there's also some limitations on it, like it is a full iFlow that is being deployed. each time once you deploy it, you would then, well, retry the message processes that failed because of the iFlow being down for a period of time for being updated. The partner directory have a number of nice things. You can add XSLT, you can run them directly in here and use that as a way to do it. I don't know if you have worked with the partner directory, please also share that. There is a number of limitations with this. That, yeah, you need an API client to work with this. I will show you how you can actually work a little smarter with this. So we will do a migration of an ICO, we will do testing, we will work all the way how to handle this, how to transport all of these artifacts into our productive or QA system. We also have something on migration on the outbound side, and here you have a partner directory entry that is being called from the interface determination iFlow. Here it will process. You have the option to add what's called interpretant processing that would ensure that you only pay or only process the message once, so you don't have multiple delivery on it. And I guess that's one of the other advantages. You have a guaranteed delivery for these things. And yeah, we have modules, we have call the adapter and message mappings being added to this. Oh, that's cool. We also have testing, but let's show you the full end-to-end process. That's a lot more fun. Okay, so here we have a PI ICO, and we want to migrate this. We're using the figaf tool because we can. And I have a package here I want to place it in. I will create it, call it live, and the date is 703. And what we then need to do is we need to select the pipeline order process. Here it will then fetch out, understand what it is actually needing to build this, because there's more components required for this. So we need an inbound flow. If it had content conversion or adapter modules on, it would also suggest us to create a new flow for this. And then there will be a conversion flow that will be added to this. I'll just change the name here. So we're taking that from the business system as we have here. So here we have the communication channel that's being mapped. We can change the systems here. So just if we wanted to, we can change it here. And we can see all the values that is being created for these things. We can select generate, regenerate names. So based on this date, it is then adding it also in here. Not real ideal. It's obviously something you need to understand what is the naming convention you want for these scenarios. Questions, just put them into the chat, then I will try to answer them as well as possible for this. So here we have all these things. We can also see the XSLT that is generated on the different levels, both on the receiver side, or receiver determination side, where we can see it is taking this this value here, and we can see it now have updated with the name of this the system. One note to add is you should be wary of the partner directory length. It's like 60 characters, which means that sometimes yeah, you need to be careful about having too long names on some of these systems. But yeah, you need to calculate it. It goes in here and checks the artifacts we are using. I just want to revamp these things because I think we did a couple of changes over this. Override shared artifacts. So in the figaf tool, we do have a number of retry options to do these things. We can also see here if there's something that is problematic in the migration. Now I will just do a new check to see if everything's okay. It is. And we can say, like here, click and migrate. Now it would migrate all the artifacts that is needed for this to work. So it will first upload all the artifacts. It will trigger deployment. So we can see here it is. So it's uploading, deploying, and now it's creating these parameters with these XSLT into it. So now it's completed. So now we actually have all the artifacts that we need. So if we, for instance, take here, we can see that we have created an iFlow that has all of these components in place. Oh, actually, this was the other one I wanted to have. So here we did have a few things we just need to check or change for it to work smoothly. So this is us going and changing this to cloud. So this is just a part of the templates that we have delivered as standard. I think we just go to plain encryption. Don't tell. Yeah, flatten directory name. So that is okay. Ignore. So we will go in. We will save it as a version. So 1.1. We will deploy it for this, and I think we just need also to synchronize here in the FigAF tool, so we know we got a new version of this. This is just something that simplifies the operation, and we know what's going on. So now we have created all the artifacts that is needed for something like this to run. So let's go back and let's just take a message from our PI system. So record message live, this as the test case name. We will select some messages. We have now created a new recording. We will send a message into this iFlow. And now we can fetch the data. Actually, let's see if it's okay. Yeah. We needed one more message. Okay, let's see if it will work. Let me just, so we can create a new message here. Yeah. So now we have two messages. We can create a test case on it. So this is a test case from our PI system that we are using as a part of this testing. Now we want to use this message, and I just wanted to show you the full end-to-end flow, that it's actually possible to migrate, test, and run it. But obviously the scenario can be used for a lot more than just this. So we will select migrate test cases. We will select the one we just created, migrate to iFlow. We'll add it to the test case, and then one of the new things we have added is you can select in multiple different iFlows where do you want to fetch or place this message. So if you've used the FigAF tool to migrate, it already knows where it can fetch these artifacts. You can select it in the iFlow where it should fetch the data. So that's pretty cool. So let's try that. So now we have migrated it. We can run it, which will then enable us. I'm just taking this also. So we have the transport capability. So now we would actually send messages into this scenario. And if we open here on the monitor, we can see two messages has been triggered on this. If we take here and look at this message ID here, no, the collation ID. So we can see this is a collation ID. This is a FigAF test message. And if we look at this, we can see that this message has been triggering quite a number of different messages. So it first started in this iFlow, got into the inbound process. No, we did not have any step 2, but it got step 4, 2 step 4, 1 for each of the different receivers. We got a step number 6 for this one, a step number 6 for this one also. And this one failed because there was 2 files that needed to be overwritten. So let's see. and then we can go back here. We can see if it fetched the messages. So one here failed, the other one was okay. We can do comparison here. We can check if everything looked out. So this is the PI message, and this is the message we found in the integration flow. So all that, this just simplifies this this process about maintaining these things. So now I've showed you how you can easily test these things and ensure that none of the things that you have done is harmful. We do have a problem down here. We should obviously check, and I guess that is just because it failed on a duplicate processing. Okay, then the other part of this, let's see if I still have some slides left, is the partner directory. So the partner directory, there is a good API for it you can use, but you can also go in here and use this, it's not this one. So here we can see the different artifacts that we have created as a part of this. We can go in here and we can edit it. So we can take this, we can just say, okay, if it is equals to 2, I don't think it's actually being used. We can save it, and now we have updated this value, and we can see who did it. We also have different options if we wanted to check this. We can use the test case we have here, one of the messages here we had, and then we can actually explore. So what does this actually mean? And this is really nice because you can explore these partner directory values. Does the accessibility work? Is it frozen? Or is it just me? No? I think this is just frozen. I don't know. Hopefully it is just this tab here that is frozen. Okay, so now it's running again. Cool. If I missed any chats, just put it into a message. Okay. There's some comments there. That's fine. Okay, cool. But yeah, this enables you to run, explore it, and update it. And then once you're done with this, you want to say, okay, obviously we want our okay, I hope it's not too much. The screen health should be okay, but maybe that was just a brief period. Let's hope it goes back again. Otherwise, it's also being streamed in YouTube, where it's hopefully a little better. Okay, so now we can see here we have some entries here in this iFlow. So we have the binary parameter. We can see the versions of this. We can compare, see what was actually changed as a part of this. So that's pretty neat if you want to see who made changes to it. We can see it was Daniel that created this. If we wanted to transport these things, we will then add the name here. Oh. So we can see here we have the binary parameters, and we also have some iFlows. So in this scenario, we would have 3 iFlows that are all linked together and are built in this this process. So with the figure tool, we can then go in and assign to a ticket. And we can select the landscape. So we do support this virtual landscape where we're reusing dev also for QA. That also is supported with partner directory entries, and that means that if you move it here, so we forgot to license this one. So we now have these artifacts that's a part of this transport. We can start the transport. And now we can see that we have this, we would transport the package, we will transport the iFlow. We also have the parameters that's being transported, and obviously as a part of the figure transport system, we can update parameters, all these things as a part of this this flow. So we can send it as a part of our approval. Oh, got too far ahead. So now I can send it to approval. I can approve it. And obviously you should have 2i principal on these things. So approve it and then select import, which will enable you to import this, all the artifacts that is required from this, also the partner directory. It obviously works both on the normal processes, but also if you have a virtual environment where you're reusing dev, also for QA, and also obviously for normal transports. Cool. Any questions on this? So it is obviously a little complex to run this these scenarios, understand what you need to do, but hopefully having a tool in place makes it a lot easier for you to manage these things. So let's just take the rest of the slides. I hope I showed you what can be done. Questions, add them into the chat and I'll try to answer this. I hope you liked it, then hit the like and support button. We have the transport. This is the current status. So for the partner directory, we have UI, XSLT. There is a challenge with its integration cell, but one of our customers used value mappings instead for those scenarios. So that's probably the way you can do with it. It's not ideal, but hopefully partner directory will be on its integration cell at some point in time. There is definitely some improvement in the monitoring that's required for this. Being able to select, I want to resend this message and not having to resend all the messages in your flows. How to get started? So there's this blog post here, and then we have, there's a, well, let's see here. This link, if you search for FIGAF, I don't know if I can add that. I think this is our best way of understanding how to get started with the FIGAF tool. This is a blog post where I've added 3 videos in. Maybe it ended up being 4. No, just 3 videos right now, where we are covering how to install the FIGAF tool. You can run it, getting licenses for it. There's free trial licenses. You can use the migration edition, that's free for up to 1 year. You can see how you can do migrations in it. We have not included the pipeline in migration videos yet, but I hope you can, based on the way I've showed it here and the normal way of migrating, it should be pretty easy to get on with those things. And then we obviously have the DevOps capability, where I show you how to create a landscape and how to use that landscape for scenarios. Are there any comments I forgot? Then just put them into the chat again. I think that did, well, I don't know. Is there anything that I'm missing? Please let me know. I would love to cover some of the things that you are asking. But otherwise, that was wanted to cover today. I hope you enjoyed it or you found it useful. And you will see. So what's the value? So the value mappings is, if you, for instance, yeah, so one of the disadvantages on value mappings is the part that you need to deploy it, and it is a deployable artifact. You need to deploy the full flow in one go, and that gives you some, takes the iFlow offline for a period of time while it's being done that. And then the other is, how do you transport it? Do you transport the full value mapping or creating a lot of value mapping artifacts? And that is a part of this. So I think that is the main reason for it. Cool. Looking forward to hear you're trying it out and getting the information on if it works and how it works. But I don't know if you have other experiences with value mappings. But I think that is the main one. It is, yeah, and obviously if you are using its integration cell, that may be the only way you can do this, where you're taking in all the accessibility into this and using the key for it. It's not ideal, but I think it would work and fairly okay. Does that work? Anything else on it? But yeah, that was I guess the main reason for it, for SAP to using this, that with partner directory it is easier. And then one of the other benefits is that in these target iflows here, for instance in the receiver determination iflow, hope you can see it here you can just create a call get partner value mapping. So here you're just taking an XSLT partner mapping and you're running it just using this this command. So you're getting the partner directory. I think, is that changed? You can run directly partner directory mappings. Yeah, it is a header, so it is the property that will fetch from the partner directory. So I think here it's just saying here XSLT mapping, it's partner directory. So you can call XSLT directly from it. Does that make sense? And then here I guess it will use the header called partner XSLT mapping for it. Anything else? I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit like, hit support. I appreciate that. Good. But yeah, try it out. There's also, I also have some templates about how you can simplify this and use it without the figureout tool. Getting started with pipelines. So in this blog post I just show you how you can run it, have some templates that you can deploy using this, but the pipeline demos, sorry, I forgot to this blog post that I shared just gives you some more details about what's going on. And other questions? Thanks. I don't know what's on now. Cool. But yeah, really appreciate you being here. If other questions, comments, put them in the chat. I recommend you try the tool. And thanks for watching. Industry, yep.